everyone, welcome to our show Timeout. I'm your host Trey Avant with my co-host, my brother Noah Avant, and this is a two-man webcast that discusses sports and entertainment. Before we begin, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms. Just look for @Boca Tribune on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow the show on Instagram at @the_timeout7. Huddle up, it's time for a timeout. All right, Noah, Baylor won a national championship. And Jalen Suggs was obviously on a losing team, and he's projected to be a top 5 draft pick. How do you think the loss affects his draft stock?
Well, it hurts. At this point, they didn't even look competitive out there. I mean, he had a decent stat line himself, but this loss, in my opinion, doesn't really hurt him too much. I think that it does give GMs kind of something to look at, maybe an eyebrow raiser. What do you do in adverse situations? Maybe some people may like that he still was able to have a decent stat line. Some GMs may look at him like, well, this is not really a guy we need. We need a guy that's going to win it. At least keep it close. And that game was ugly from the beginning. So that was my whole thing with that. In terms of his draft stock, I have seen on ESPN, Bleacher Report had him going number 3, which I think is a bit of a stretch. I don't think that he's the third best guy in this draft. Personally speaking, I think Jalen Green should be in that top 3 along with Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley, but I'm not a GM. These guys may need differently, and the lottery really is going to determine a lot of these things. A lot of this setup with the Timberwolves. They're probably more likely going to draft Cade Cunningham if they do end up going number 1. But who's to say if the Magic get number 1, they won't get Cade Cunningham? Where they're rebuilding in Orlando. So everything right now is just a matter of the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Well, with me, I agree with you. I don't think Jalen Suggs' draft stock is going to go down at all. I still think he's going to be top 5. It's just really with Baylor, a lot of those players, they boosted their draft stock a lot. Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, those guys, they boosted their draft stock a lot. So, kudos to Baylor. And Zaga have potential to be one of the best teams in college basketball history. It's just like the 2007 Patriots. They went undefeated but folded at the finish line. Tripped at the finish line. So, I mean, they had a great year. Jalen Suggs is going to, he's still going to be a top 5 pick, and it depends how the lottery turns out, depending on where he's going to go. Me personally, I feel like the top 5, not in any particular order, is Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, and Jonathan Kuminga. I think those would be the top 5. That's been the top 5 pretty much the whole season anyways, without any changes. So I feel like it's going to stay that way.
I agree with that. Top 5 is actually spot on. Kuminga is actually a really good – it's going to be a really good pickup for a team too. But I truly do think that Jalen Green is going to be the diamond in the rough out of that 5. He's going to be the one that shocks everybody. And it shouldn't be shocking, but he's going to be that guy.
Mm. He was the best player in that G League team.
I'm sorry?
He was the best player in that G League team.
Exactly. You're playing against professionals. At that level, when you're playing at the G League, you're basically playing at an NBA level. The same guys that you will play against in the NBA will go down for a couple games, maybe a month or 2. Example, Kevin Porter. Jared Jack's still in the G League. He's trying to make his NBA comeback. He's playing against guys that have made it to that point, are still there. They're just there in the G League to get the legs together. Whatever it is, he's seen it. So that rookie transition between, college to the NBA, or in his case would be the G League to the NBA. I think it's really similar to Luka Doncic's transition from playing EuroLeague professional ball to playing in the NBA. So, in my opinion, that's going to be my guy coming out of the draft. All eyes is on Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm. I still think Cade's going to go number 1. I mean, he hasn't done anything to lower his draft stock. It's just everybody else just has to do stuff to boost their draft stock. If I had to choose top 5 in order, it'd probably be Cade Cunningham, Uh, Probably Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, Evan Mobley, and Jonathan Kuminga.
I feel it.
But it depends on which teams are picking.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to decide who that top 5 was going to be just based on the fact that the team the draft order has not been solidified yet. Now, once the lottery happens and we have 1 through 30 assigned, now we can talk. But at this point right now, we don't know what team is going to get it. You know, there's been years in the past where the teams have been projected to be in the top 5 and they managed to bounce into the 6th or 7th, and some even in the lottery. You know, it just depends on that bounce. So we'll see. We will definitely see. Taking it over to keeping it in college. Roy Williams' successor has been announced. Hubert Davis, his assistant coach, will now be the head coach of North Carolina. Trey, how do you feel about this?
I'm indifferent towards it. It was clearly Roy Williams' pick because, you know, he had most of the say-so who would succeed him. And he clearly thought Hubert Davis would be the best fit for the job. I heard there were some former Carolina players and staff that thought there was another candidate. I don't know his name. I forgot his name. Another candidate that fits the role better. I believe he's a fellow assistant coach. But I mean, I'm indifferent towards it.
So I actually do have a source in the Carolina that has I have a source close to Carolina and their coaching staff in the basketball program over there. And I was alerted over the news before the news was ever was. I want to say, so it probably was about like Monday or Tuesday. No, it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday when I got the news that Hubert was going to be the head coach. They interviewed Wes Miller, Jerry Stackhouse.
Wes Miller was the guy I was talking about. Yeah, Wes Miller.
Wes Miller from UNCG, who's doing a phenomenal job with that basketball program at UNCG. Outstanding job. Jerry Stackhouse, and I think it was another coach. Gonzaga's coach turned down the offer, which is understandable. He has an undefeated team. You know, that probably had a lot to do with it. And another coach, I think it was Baylor's coach, and can't think of the other coach on top of my head, but I can confirm that it was the Brad Stevens from the Boston Celtics was not included into this. It was really just a lot of rumors are going around that he was a young coach and it would make sense that he would come to Carolina. But in the end, Roy was going to have the final say. And maybe not so much the final say, but he was going to have a lot to do with it. And where Hubert had been under Coach Roy all these years as the assistant coach, Roy Williams was the assistant coach under Dean Smith. It really was just a sense of like a family. Carolina is really much like a family in a sense, keeping everybody in the circle. So they kept it in the family. Hubert's gonna go in there and do great things. I do have a hot take about that. We're gonna say that for later, but I will say that he is making a lot of moves already. They're saying that he's in talking to some transfers from Virginia and a big man coming out of high school this year. So it's gonna be, for all my Tar Heel fans out there, this is gonna be a good year for us. You just have to trust the process. I hate to quote the 76ers, but North Carolina basketball will be just fine. Roy put us in good hands.
What are your thoughts on moving on to the NBA? What are your thoughts on Dwayne Dedman signing with the Heat? The Heat signing with a big man, 7-footer.
I'm okay with it. I would have personally saved that money because I just don't think he's necessarily what we need, especially since he's been hurt a lot. You know, he's coming off of rehab and everything. But I will say that if Pat Riley thinks that Dedman will be able to play and not just be a jersey sitting on the sidelines, I think this would be a good fit for us. We do need another center. Bielita.
Something like that.
Yeah, Bielita is
NB.
Huh? NB.
NB.
NB is a very decent center, but I can tell he's not going to be the guy we necessarily need to help Bam out down there. So with Dedmon down there, that helps out with the rebounding. Bam can actually go to the 4 spot. They said, I looked at a post the other day, and they said Bam was like number 3 in the race for Defensive Player of the Year. So I like it. You know, it's helping him out. And he's actually going to be able to go to a spot where he's actually going to be able to excel even more. Not that he doesn't excel at the center spot, but it gives him a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
How much rather him have to worry about guarding Giannis than Brook Lopez, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Dedmon could be a good pickup, especially in the playoffs if he's in shape. Yes. If he's not in shape, he's obviously not going to play. Maybe only if we go up against like the Sixers, yeah, we're going to need him against Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. Or we go up against the Bucks, or if we make it to the finals and go up against like the Lakers, for example, we're going to need him against Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond. You know, I mean, I feel like he's a solid pickup. The Heat needed to sign someone today. They still need to sign one more person, so it's probably going to be Strus or like convert Strus to a standard contract instead of two-way, or Gabe Vincent. So we'll see what happens there.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami actually signed Gary Clark. They said that since he was waived today from the Nuggets, that a couple Eastern Conference teams that are playoff contenders were interested in signing him. So really? I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the Clayton Wonder, the Johnston County boy, Johnston County Superman, Gary Clark, you know, took a trip to South Beach. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, at 6'7", he can shoot the ball. He's a good defender. I like it. You know, in a sense, he's like a Precious with a jump shot.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Precious right now. Precious hit the wall.
And, you know, when you're a rookie and you're coming into something new, this is hard. You gotta think a year ago, he didn't even get to play basketball. 2 years ago, he was playing against guys his age. Now he's sitting out here and he has to guard Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, he has to guard guys like Giannis, LeBron, KD. You know, all of these really talented basketball players. These are the guys he has to see now. So it's levels to this. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly what you want to see in your top pick, but nonetheless, it'll work.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, you know, next season he'll tighten up because he is kind of like a smaller, you know, Bam Adebayo, and Bam wasn't that great his rookie year either. So hopefully he takes those leaps forward like Bam did. Mm-hmm. You know, moving forward, moving on to the NFL. The Dolphins. We didn't talk about this. The Dolphins made not a draft day trade, but they made a trade for draft picks. You know, picked up additional draft picks for 2022 and 2023. They traded with the 49ers, went from 3rd to 12. And the expectation is that the 49ers are going to pick up Mac Jones, you know, to compete with Jimmy Garoppolo. And then Dolphins weren't finished. They traded up to 6 with the Eagles. And a smart trade for both teams. You know, the Eagles could still get an elite receiver, and the Dolphins could still get whoever they want.
That was a smart. We're not gonna be that. We're not gonna be that diplomatic on here. We're gonna
it was a good trade.
That was a stupid trade for Philly, and you know it. It was a great trade for us, but that was a stupid trade for Philly.
I mean, they can still get, if they're 12, they can still get Jalen Waddle.
Gee, you're in a position where you can get Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts.
Well, you're acting like they're like 1,000 times better than Jalen Waddle.
Which one would you rather?
First of all, you were saying you wanted Sewell and then you wanted Jalen Waddle at 18. So
I understand that 18, not 12. Okay. And they had the 6th pick where they could have got somebody even better.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm talking about for the Dolphins. For the Dolphins, Sewell would have worked. I mean,
they get draft picks from us as well.
Huh?
They get draft picks from us as well.
That's fine. I mean, that's part of the game. But in regards to Sewell, prior to his wingspan, measurements coming out, I was pro all day. But now, when it comes down to it, and this is also before we made offseason moves to get an offensive line, I don't see the need for us to get a tackle now. Why? Because we have an offensive line. I've stressed this before, and I will stress it again. Your offensive line is the most important for you, and that most important thing on that offense outside of your skill players. Now we have this, at least have reinforcements at these positions. Yes, we need to go ahead and get the skill players now. And our skill player we need to get needs to be either be Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. I don't know about this Kyle Pitts guy. I think he could be really good. If they roll the dice on him, I'd feel a little uneasy about it. I had to see him actually play in the NFL before I can say this is a good or bad trade. But, I'm still sold on the receiver. That's just me. I like our offense with those two guys. If we get Pitts, we'll see.
Yeah, me personally, I feel the same way. With Kyle Pitts, I feel like he did benefit a lot from having Kyle Trask, who was an elite college quarterback. Not in NFL. He's not going to be that good at the NFL. I don't think so. He's going to be a backup. But
definitely backup.
I feel like he benefited a lot from Kyle Trask. And the Dolphins already have Mike Gesicki. And we have a couple other solid receivers on the team, like Parker and Fuller and Williams. And you have Gesicki, who's a tight end, but he's really a receiver.
Right.
And you add Pitts, that'd be good for Tua, but it kind of just be like, it's kind of weird, I know. And then someone has to be in line, and Pitts and Gesicki are pretty much just big receivers, probably. So it's like, I don't know. They would do like a spread offense type thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did just get into they do have two offensive coordinators, or they have one offensive coordinator now. No, we have two of them, right?
Yeah, that's two.
Yeah, two offensive coordinators. So perhaps with this new offense that they're building around Tua, Kyle Pitts is the guy that they may want. And if that's the case, then maybe they will want to spread, So
just the spread usually doesn't really work in the NFL. Like teams have tried it, but defenses have adjusted, so it just doesn't work as well.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, if you got a guy like Kyle Pitts, I mean, I know I said I wasn't too thrilled about him, but can't argue with 6'6" running a 4.5.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with that. And he has some good hands. He does have some good hands, but you can't beat a 4.3 either.
Yeah. I mean, it's expected because they're smaller than him. Chase.
Yeah, that 4.3 speed and the size that Jamar Chase has.
It just hasn't played in a year. I just don't know how that would work. I mean, I feel like he'll be fine, but like, I don't know. It's just recency. You see Pitts and you see Smith and you see what they did like a couple months ago. So it's like, and Chase hasn't played in a year, so.
But who's to say he wasn't working?
He was working. He was clearly working.
I mean, like, even though I'm not playing, but I'm still working, is that a bad thing? I'm still working now. I'm still getting right.
Yeah. It's just more of a game situation type thing.
Yeah, but college, we both can agree that college football and professional football do not translate always the same. So who's to say that him playing would have made him that much better?
Actually, would have made him worse because the quarterback was not as good because he had Joe Burrow throwing the ball. So I mean, it was smart for him. It was smart for him to sit out. But
LSU had a terrible season this year.
Yeah, they were really bad. I don't know what happened. They folded completely.
Definitely.
But
we do have a commercial. We do have a commercial.
You're watching Timeout with the Avant Bros. If you enjoy the show, please click the share button to share the stream with all your friends. Also, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for @Boca Tribune. You can also follow the show on Instagram at @the_timeout7. See you soon.
information. If it exists in writing, we print it. If it exists online.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh, it's a warp speed commercial break.
Yeah, but it's okay. Welcome back, everyone. Staying on top of the NFL. The NFL has announced that they will be relaxing the policy on jersey numbers. So we're going to see a lot of skill position players rocking numbers like 1 to 19. You'll see running back, like you'll see like Derrick Henry rocking number 2. It'll be like college football.
That's looking hard though. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like the single numbers. I think that's smooth. I didn't think it was that big of a deal in the first place. I don't know why this has to be. This was ever a thing.
Yeah,
I wear number 3.
Yeah,
as a
NBA,
running back, let me wear number 3.
Yeah, she be like the NBA where you get to choose whatever number you want to wear. Doesn't matter the position.
Yeah, Luka wears number 77. Right? If Alvin Kamara want to go out there tomorrow and throw on 77, he should be throw on 77.
Yeah,
this is your open jersey number. It's an open jersey number. At the end of the day, it's a number. You make the number, not the number make you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my take on it. I'm excited to see what these players decide to change their numbers to.
Yeah, if they do change their numbers, because I know some of them have deals with Nike. Because I remember with the NBA, remember when LeBron trying to change his number to 6. Yeah. So Anthony Davis could have 23, and Nike was like, no, you can't do that because we already made the jerseys.
Yeah. Wait till next year, then I can switch it.
Yeah, and they ended up not doing that. So I mean, NFL players will probably likely keep their numbers since that's what they've had right now. Now the rookies that are coming in, they'll probably be rocking you'll see Najee Harris wearing number 2 or whatever, wearing 5 or something. The rookies probably will have the first choice. But I feel like the existing players that are in the NFL, they're probably just gonna keep their numbers the same.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Alvin Kamara might end up changing his number.
Possibly.
Yeah. But since we're talking about Nike, Deshaun Watson has recently been announced. Deshaun Watson has lost his Nike endorsement as well as his Beats endorsement due to his sexual assault allegations. He has 21 cases. I know we didn't talk about it. We haven't talked about it much. I really didn't want to talk about it until we had actual concrete evidence that this is real. But 21 cases, this isn't looking good.
Yeah.
This is not looking good at all. And some of the ladies have actually come out and spoken out against him.
Yeah. I mean, I know with the endorsements, I know he did lose his Beats endorsement, but his Nike endorsement was actually suspended. He didn't lose it. Nike's just waiting for more evidence, more concrete evidence. I guess they're waiting for a verdict per se.
Probably.
And from a football perspective, he's definitely going to stay with the Texans, or he's going to get cut, depending on what happens with the verdict.
Honestly, I think they'll probably cut him.
Yeah.
But my thing with this whole situation is this: 21 women are coming forward now and saying that he's done these heinous things to them. My question next is to the Texans: how long have you known? Because it's amazing to me. He demands a trade because I'm playing hardball. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to leave. A week later, this happens. The lawyer handling the case is one of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it just out of the air. So how long have these women been coming to you expressing that your star player has been assaulting them, making them feel uncomfortable at their workplace because these are masseuse. One of the young ladies was a masseuse. She said that he asked him to massage his gluteus maximus with her fingers and not her hands and fingers. She got it in detail to an extent. She's saying all of these things. Why is this not getting out? And I really feel like they went to the Texans. The Texans knew about this. And now that he has no help, he's going to be no help to them. We're going to ruin him. Now, Deshaun is wrong. 100%. I don't want anybody misconstruing what I'm saying. He is 100. He is wrong. He's wrong as two left shoes in a shoebox. He needs to get the help he needs. Says he's not okay mentally. But since he's doing these things, this is on record. This is official. He really doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get that help.
Mm-hmm.
But my question to the Texans is, how long have you known? Because this can't just be out of nowhere. Not like how they're trying to paint this picture out the scene. I don't buy that.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you. I've seen people speak rumors about that as well. Like maybe the Texans, they were like, okay, Deshaun, you don't want to play for us anymore. Okay, we're gonna leak those sexual assault allegations to the media and see what happens. And that's what happened. Because it's weird how he was a hot commodity,
right?
And he was top 5 quarterback. Oh, I want to leave, and then they were like, "Oh, you want to leave? Okay, all right." Like, you don't want to give us a chance? You know, we got a head coach and everything for you. You don't want to give us a chance. You don't want to stay. We paid you all this money. Now you want to leave a year after we paid you all this money?
Right.
All right. And you know, the Texans have a very toxic work environment. Like from their owner down, they've had a lot of problems, especially with Bill O'Brien as well. Stuff he would say about like DeAndre Hopkins and whatnot. I mean, obviously he's gone now, so he doesn't affect the team, but it still stems from the owner down. So they have a lot of issues going on with the Texans organization.
And it's crazy that it's like that. And even taking it to another team, even with Big Ben, when he had the assault charge on a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Ben did this. This is known. He stayed with that team. Got swept right under the rug. I guess they might have settled out of court, and I guess this is what they're hoping Deshaun to do, because I believe these are still civil suits. So, they can be settled outside of court, but it's like, dang, like, this is weird. This is really weird.
It came at a very convenient time.
Yeah, like, this was just like a perfect storm. Like, this is weird for Deshaun, because Deshaun put himself in these situations. He did this to himself. I don't feel bad for him. If like this is the thing that you're doing, since you're doing this stuff, you need to be treated like such.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still innocent till proven guilty, but 21 women, it's hard to say somebody's lying out of that 21. Because even if it's one, even if 20 of them lied and one of them told the truth, he still did it.
Yeah.
That's how you need to look at this number.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the NFL does moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
you. But hey, I can't believe you don't watch this. So we're gonna step out of bounds a bit. We kind of had a little spicy moment with Deshaun. We're gonna lighten up the mood a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which show is better? Snowfall or Power?
I don't know. I don't watch either show, but I mean, I've seen a little bit of Power. Like, I had walked by the TV and it was on, and that boy Tommy was going crazy. So I mean, I would just, I mean, from what I've seen, and I've seen snippets of Snowfall as well. I mean, I feel like Power might have a higher like production thing because it's on Stars.
Yeah.
So it just looks better. But I don't know if the actual show is better.
I mean, the scenes in Power are a lot more spicy just because it is on Stars, so you could kind of like get away with the more risque scenes. But like, and like the violence in it and whatnot. But in a sense of storyline, I think Snowfall has Power beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's off the strength of you have this kid living in South Central Los Angeles who gets into selling drugs Then somehow another gets tied in with the CIA agent who's trying to fund a illegal war in Nicaragua. He's gonna, in exchange of you giving him the money or giving him a cut of the money you make off the cocaine you're selling in the South Central, he's funding an illegal war there. Mm-hmm. And all of this, of course, is based off of the United States government actually doing this. John Singleton, everybody, we don't have hard proof yet, or we have hard proof. It's just a really big conspiracy that the United States was doing this in the 80s, and this is how crack epidemic began. And in a sense, this is they talk about it throughout the show. Ronald Reagan, his whole war on drugs, everything. Everything about it is it's a really good show. It's just when I compare that to Power, it blows Power out the water in my opinion. Sorry, 50, but Snowfall, man. Every Wednesday, I watch mine on Thursday because I have Hulu, so I can watch it the next day. But man, every Thursday, I'm on the computer. Yeah. Well, let's get to these hot takes because oh boy, this one is spicy. Very spicy.
I don't feel like mine is that spicy. I feel like it's reasonable.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I believe that during the 2021 NFL draft, 4 quarterbacks will get drafted in the top 5, one after the other. Number 1 to the Jaguars is obviously going to be Trevor Lawrence. Everybody knows that. 2, the Jets will likely, and I'm just going off reports and what I've seen. 2, the Jets will look like they most likely will draft Zach Wilson.
Probably.
And 3 is apparently the 49ers like Mac Jones over Trey Lance and Justin Fields. I don't know how better Mac Jones is than Jimmy Garoppolo, or how because I just feel like, okay, I'm just gonna say 49ers will draft Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is an Alabama quarterback, and Alabama quarterbacks are usually in the perfect storm. Those receivers they play with, that offense they play with is perfect for any quarterback. It makes every quarterback look great, whether they are great or not. So I just feel like Mac Jones was just put in a perfect situation, and it just made him look better than he actually is. And the Falcons, I feel like they're just going to pick up Justin Fields, compete with Matt Ryan. Will he beat up Matt Ryan for the starting job first year? Maybe not, but he could learn from him, and then a year from now take over the starting job. And he's from Georgia too, so
yeah. I will comment on this. Mac Jones is not Tua. Mac Jones is not Jalen Hurts. I say that to say this. He had the receivers to make him look good. And I honestly say he had better receivers than Tua and Hurts when they were the QBs there. I might even go as far to say that he might have even had better receivers than AJ McCarron had. So I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a fan of the dude. I think he's good, but to go top 3, that'd be silly. That'd be silly.
I think as of right now, he's probably a backup quarterback in the NFL. He could progress to a starter eventually, but right now, I think he's a backup. I don't think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So, if that's what the 49ers think, then, hey, but.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah. My hot take is that Walker Kessler will be returning to Carolina this fall. Coach Davis has made it clear that he wanted to keep him in Carolina. Kessler had announced he wanted to transfer after this season. I believe he was like the number 1 player in the state of Georgia. And, he really wasn't happy about his play time this year. So I see him coming back. And I do think his teammates want him back as well. Armando Bacot even tweeted him saying, "Hey, big head." They don't want their friend. They don't want their teammate to leave. And with a new coach, I definitely feel like Davis is going to be the guy that's able to put everything in motion. That maybe Roy was just his ideology of it was just not meshing with the team.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, be on the watch out for that.
All right, that's solid. That's solid. He's a solid player. But all right, guys, that's it for today's show. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Boca Raton Tribune on all social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for @Boca Tribune. You can also follow the show on Instagram at @the_timeout7. Follow me on my personal Twitter at TreyAvant3. Noah?
You can follow me on Instagram at ArtBuilderNoah, and you can follow me on Twitter at WhoBuildsArts.
Timeout airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. As always, this is the Avant Bros signing off.